Today we show you how to get every sound with baritone guitars.
Angelico, email me.
Hey everyone, the name is Kris.
And my name is Guillaume. Welcome to Thomann's Guitars and Basses and to today's video, which is something that I've been extremely excited about. If you've been following us, thank you. If you haven't, please subscribe. Last week or maybe the week before, not quite sure, we released a bit of a challenge, a bit of a, you know, who's got the longest neck type of. We released our baritone tone challenge. This is something that we've been doing with a lot of different guitars, Strat, Tellys, Les Pauls, SGs, whatever.
And I obviously won by half an inch because this is 27.5, so thank you.
But this is the follow-up video where we're going to sort of explain the thought process that goes behind some of those sounds. We'll be doing, you know, the clean funky thing, the break-up bluesy, and like how do you think about the baritone sound? What do you do when you dial in your amp or your pedals or your guitar even? So try and give you guys all the tools you need.
To hit the baritone.
To hit the baritone.
Oh God.
Yes!
Sorry.
No, but that was not even rehearsed. That was
No,
good.
it wasn't.
Let's keep that in.
That's the natural kind of terrible joke.
I was going to say to make the most out of your baritone, but this was perfect. Yeah. All right, final cut. There we go.
I will get rid of this guitar right now, even though it's breaking my heart, because we are going to be using just that guitar. They both have two humbuckers. They both coil tap if you want to, or split. But yeah, one guitar is going to be enough. And this is not a challenge. This is not a comparison. This is just grabbing a piece of tool, in this case a baritone guitar, and trying to go from very clean to not that clean to not at all clean and everything in between.
So let's get started with our clean tone. And this is going to be... Okay, I'll have a bit of reverb, a bit of delay for the sake of it being pretty, because that should be on every guitar sound ever. Discreet though, discreet in the background. But the one thing to keep in mind if you're playing baritone guitar is that inherently you're gonna have a whole lot of bass built in the instrument. As much as you'll have the best quality pickups and the best setup in the world, like, it's slower. It's slower, some more lower frequencies. So I'll be running through the Rev Generator 120, and as you can see on the control panel, the treble is much higher than I'd usually have it on a standard sort of tuned guitar. The bass is at unity, mids are just a little bit up. Right now I'm not using the bright switch, but if your amp does have one of those, it might come in really handy for those guitars, because the trick is to put the amp to the point where it's really satisfying to play in the room, and then down the bass just a little bit. And it's kind of sad when you do it, but it's better. It's better for the mix, it's better for the other instruments.
Especially as soon as you start playing with others.
Yeah, exactly.
Alone is of course awesome to have, like almost like a bass player backing you up. But yeah.
So as you've seen in the challenge part of this baritone series, this is not the kind of clean tone that I would go for, but for the sake of the plain Jane clean sound.
You mean the pretty ones?
The pretty. This is I think a really good basis to start adding cool stuff. You're not missing anything.
No, it's all in there.
In the room, I'd say it's a little bit more obvious. And if you were to push the bass a little bit more, it's like the one that makes a diaphragm go. That's really cool. But yeah, I'd say this is a solid point to start with. I'll hand you the guitar, and you can do your.
I can take it without the cable because I have a very specific pedal here that I want to use.
Yeah!
It's not heavy. I thought it's gonna be heavier.
No, it's fine.
It's not light neither, but it's a good weight. I wanna go for just a hint more edge to the tone, but not really distorted, because that was more of a soul-y kind of pretty clean tone.
It's a pretty tone, yeah.
A really cool tone that you would use for jazz, for soul, for R&B. Are
you gonna Mark Lettieri me?
I do not even try to nail anything that Mark Lettieri does, but I wanna show how I would approach a more percussive kind of cleanish kind of baritone tone.
A good way to wheel out of this one.
Barely made it, but kind of have a chance to survive this video.
I'll get there when you start talking about Ariel Bosen. Double stops everywhere.
But it's like defined and compressed.
Yeah, defined, compressed, very, very usable, very spanky. Appreciate it very much. Very much. It was a good sound.
It's an awesome thing because it does get closer to a bass vibe without trying to sound anything like a bass. Like it couldn't be further away from an actual bass tone or playing technique, but it has that rhythmic thing that's so cool about bass.
Very percussive.
Everyone loves, even if you're not a bass player, you appreciate a really groovy bass player. You do enjoy some dun, dun,
Man, I mean, that's... that's completely at the other end of what you just did. It's like as little compression as possible by using several overdrives.
Super low gain, right?
Super low gain, yeah. I mostly have gain in the Thomann. The Walrus Audio is like first mode, so like less gainy. That's the Aegis, by the way, with the gain barely at 9 o'clock. The point of this one is, again, EQ. I haven't touched the amp at all, but as you'll see on both pedals, the highs and like the treble is pretty high on both of them, because you don't want to remove any of the bass. That's why I don't like cut the bass too much, because otherwise you lose the humph when you go like, and you still want all of that, but you do add a substantial amount of treble so that when you go back to like smaller chord shapes and triads, you keep all the pretty definition. And that's how I would do a crunch in B standard.
Okay.
How would you make it crunch?
In a dead rocky kind of way?
The Dad Rocky
Kind of way. So sorry.
Don't
for
be.
butchering the song. I love playing normal songs and songs that are not supposed to be down tuned.
At least this one, other human beings could sing it in that key.
Yeah, exactly. It's like nothing is funnier than playing, I don't know, Bon Jovi or something like in B or A.
How did you do that?
I literally did exactly the same thing as what I would do on a normal guitar.
Okay.
Because the amp, as in your case, doesn't have a lot of bass dialed in. I'm using the Rev D20, and I have the bass and the mids a little bit backed up, like 11 o'clock kind of thing. And the treble is just a bit over 12 o'clock. So pretty much the same thing, right?
Yeah, just about
very
that.
similar settings. Because I wanted to tame the mids and especially the lows a little bit, but that's it. I would use this amp with the same settings with my Tele, with normal tunings and normal scale length as well. It's nothing radical. It's just, be careful a little bit with the low end. These pickups are very articulate, so they don't lag anything. They don't make the guitar sound super muddy, even though it's so much longer. And these strings are like 19 to 100, or I don't know. It's ridiculous.
They're pretty thick, yeah.
So thick.
I think they're 13 to 64.
At least, easily, yeah. So, still, you have all the articulation. Of course, it just sounds beefier because of reasons.
Yeah.
But I just use the Toxic Twins gunned on the left side, which is the Bluesbreaker side. Just something I do all the time.
I don't think I have more gain. Well, no,
I don't think
it's not
anyone needs
true.
any more gain.
I'm barely halfway on the aggression, actually.
Oh my god.
But
it's like, daw.
you are going to need bigger strings if you want to drop it to E.
Yeah.
I tried dropping it to E because I really wanted to play Architects, but it's just...
Which would be an octave lower than normally, just to clarify
But
things.
it doesn't work with 64. You need 80. It's which is not stupid. I've done it on regular scale and it works.
Oh my god.
Intonation's a bit, but it works.
Now, intonation is less of an issue on a baritone if you're using thick strings. That's again something that is a huge plus for baritones compared to like whatever 7-string or 8-string normal scale guitar.
That's why we love them.
Or just a 6-string normal scale where you put thick strings on. The bridge really needs to be adjustable in like in that direction to keep your octave be an actual octave. A baritone is built with that intention to have thick strings on, so it's not gonna be an issue, which is, again, something really cool. Let me do something very different than high gain to finish up like
like a special round.
whatever it is. I would go for fuzz to see how a baritone deals with fuzz, which could be muddy. We'll see.
Surprise me. Such a cool riff.
Transform into a drummer. Ow! This hurt.
Yeah.
My middle finger so much on the second fret. But dude, that's a fuzz face type circuit. It's the PS Audio Pandora going into the Toxic Twins on a very low gain setting, just to compress in a sweet way.
Yeah.
2 vintage style pedals.
If you had to,
one of them is a fuzz.
But if you had to choose a fuzz for baritone guitar, just in my opinion, you're a lot safer with a fuzz face. Something that's going to push quite a bit of treble, not necessarily a ton of bass extra, but the modern versions like the Pandora also have like a very sweet adjusted mid-range that you don't have in the vintage units.
And bass and treble controls.
Yeah.
Very handy.
Super useful. But if you were to choose like a generic sort of idea of a fuzz, either fuzz face or big muff, I'd suggest going.
Not the big muff.
Well, the big muff is fine. There's a lot of them that have been tuned for bass, And like the bass big muffs are really, really sick. In fairness, I would almost recommend those over like some standard, you know, the pie muff and all that, because they have so much low end that once you get into B, A, and under territory, it gets muddy. Oh, that was good. That was a good add-on. I'm glad we talked about fuzz.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to.
Yeah, we love fuzz, and it's also one of the hardest things to get right, and don't feel underwhelmed or disappointed.
Yeah.
If you don't match guitar, fuzz, or fuzz and amp right, it can sound really, really disappointing.
Yeah.
Like,
no, but that was really cool. Thank you very much for your expertise. I appreciate it.
It was a trial and error.
I hope you guys enjoyed that video as well. That maybe you've learned a thing or two that you weren't really considering before. And if you want to start playing the baritone, please go ahead. It's really, really sick.
I need one.
It's a whole ton of inspiration. This one will be listed in the description box. We might put a couple other like recommendations, different price points for you guys who might be thinking, hey, I like that. Because it's sick. So, on these words,
see you down there in the comment section.
Exactly.
Make sure to subscribe and ring the bell if you like these kind of shenanigans. And see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.